As we've been doing all day here for the Jones County Heritage Festival, we are now joined by Annette McDaniel, who is going to be sharing. You're going to give us a little bit different perspective than some other folks have. You're going to give us a medical perspective. You are a part of, your family helped start Lenore Memorial Hospital, which is now UNC Lenore Healthcare. So I'm very excited about that. So first off, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, where you went to school, all that.
I grew up in Lenore and Jones County. Most of my younger years were in Lenore County, and when I was like 10 or 11, we moved back to Jones County, and it's been a great thing. I moved out of home as you get older, you got to experience things. And I moved out, moved to Deep Run, North Carolina, and that's another little rural town. And it was a nice little place to live. But I come back home and ended up back in Jones County.
What was it like growing up in Kinston and Trenton and Jones County when you were a kid?
It was amazing. Some people might have thought it was boring, but to me, it was like being free. Being free, you didn't feel bogged down by city life. Nothing like dirt. Nothing like. And I was raised with two brothers. I was the middle child, and I could hang with them most of the time until they got the best of me. But it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Tell me a little bit about Lenore Memorial Hospital,
ma'am. The first hospital that was developed in Lenore County was the Robert Bruce McDaniel Hospital, and it was on East Gordon Street. It was run all the direct. There's a panel of folks that helped run the organization, and they were all women. My ancestors, it was named by some of my ancestors, and we've always questioned that as long as I've worked at the hospital, and I've been there 40 years.
Wow.
And it was like a joke for a while, this is some of my people, I know it is, but we never really tried to investigate it. And one of the foundation director come to me at the hospital. She said, we need to look into that. I want to look into that. When are you planning to retire? And I give her an estimated time. She said, I really want to look into that and see if you are related to these folks. And I had a friend that did some ancestry work for me. She brought it to me. She said, I want to tell you, you are related to the Robert Bruce McDaniel family.
Wow.
His dad, Robert Bruce McDaniel, died at infant death. I can't give you the exact date, but his dad and mom donated the facility where the Robert Bruce McDaniel house was, because they were originally from Jones County. They moved to Lenore County, and when they deeded this house over to them, they told them there was going to be some stipulations, and one of them that was part of the hospital had to be formed as part of charity care. And as I was reading through the history that was developed for me, there was a Mr. Frank, and that's all it said, Mr. Frank. He was from Jones County, and he helped Dr. Tom Parrott originate x-rays. And I found that amusing and interesting too.
Very much so.
This Robert Bruce McDaniel, his dad was James Alexander, and his mama's name was Laura Walker. And now at the hospital, the sleep study department at the hospital is named the McDaniel Walker Sleep Study Department.
That's awesome.
And it was just amazing that I could be related to these people after all these years. And it was a career I chose. I started out as a surgical tech. That's where you work in the operating room, you hand instruments. And I thought there's got to be more to it than this. So I decided I was going back to nursing school, and that's what I did. Went to Lenore Community College, got my degree, and the rest is history. I've been at it was Lenore Memorial Hospital when I was hired back in 1983, and is affiliated from that to UNC Lenore Health now.
How long, you were talking about retirement, how much longer do you think you're going to stay in the field?
I'm gonna try to hang in there about a couple more years.
Sound like you're getting ready to say a couple more hours.
Maybe I won't.
Yeah, there you go.
There's been some days I would say hours, but yes, it's probably a couple more years. I'm gonna try to give it a shot.
In your 40 years at LMH/UNC Lenore Healthcare, what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen in the medical field during that time, and specifically at that facility?
The biggest change was the changing of the whole organization through the name change. I've seen healthcare turn into a quote unquote profit business, which is it's hard when you went in it for the compassionate part, and those are the hard things that you just have to discuss with people, not really finances, but what's going to be the outcome if you choose this, this, and this. The way things are today, everything is insurance driven, and that's just how it is, and it makes it very difficult, and it's hard on the members or the team, the care team, because a lot of us, or most of us, are in there for a compassionate part of what we do, and it's very hard some days, but it doesn't take, if you got the compassionate part in you, it doesn't take that out. I think my daddy would be proud to know that we were really affiliated and kin or related to these people, because he passed away in 2018, and we always picked on him. The first hospital was named after you, Daddy, and we just joked it off, and this can't be real. And when the director, Constance Hinkle, come up to me and asked me to do this, and I went to her when I found out we were, and I said, we literally are related. And she said she was tickled to death, and they wanted to make a big deal out of it this year because it was the 117th anniversary of the hospital in Lenore County. So I just found it amazing that from Jones County, we have a lot to offer, and we had a lot to offer back then. We offer more than people probably realize. With my ancestors being, some of them were good folks, and some of them weren't so good folks. But you find that anywhere, and I really think it was just amazing that I was related to this longevity of caregiving. On my ancestry that come up, that I was actually the Robert Bruce McDaniel was the hospital was named after, the first hospital in this area, or in Lenore County, but I call Lenore County and Jones County this area. I was actually the 5th cousin 3 times removed, and I've tried to look up what that 3 times removed means, but I've not been able to get a clear definition of what it actually means. But I just knew that it goes back as far as my great-great-grandfather, and it's down to the folks I remember as a child. My grandfather's family, his brothers and sisters, and they were a hoot. So I can't imagine what the ones before them were.
Well, very good. Well, listen, Ms. McDaniel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for being a part of this project.
Thank you. I've enjoyed being part of it.